All right, let's talk about something we all do, probably for way too long every single day: sitting. Whether you're at a desk, in your car, or just chilling on the couch, have you ever really thought about the hidden stress that simple act puts on your body, specifically on your back?
It's a question we've all probably asked ourselves when that familiar ache starts creeping in. We blame a bad night's sleep or maybe lifting something funny, but what if the real culprit is the very thing that's supposed to be giving you a break? What if your chair is actually part of the problem?
And that right there is the core of the issue with sitting. See, it's not just about being lazy or inactive. The simple act of sitting for hours on end puts a ton of sustained stress and pressure right on your mid and lower back. And over time, that pressure just builds. And that's usually where the trouble starts. So if the problem is all this pressure, then the solution has to be about support, right? Well, that leads us to an ergonomic answer, a way to find some real, targeted support for your spine right where you need it the most. Okay, but what does ergonomic even mean in this case? Well, it's pretty simple. It's all about a design that's laser focused on improving your posture when you sit. The whole point is to work with your body to help support the natural, healthy curve of your spine instead of forcing it into some weird, uncomfortable position. So how does something like this actually pull that off? Let's get into the science of the support system a little bit and break down how it's supposed to relieve all that pressure we were talking about. At the very heart of this design is one key material: memory foam. Now, the magic of this stuff is that it's designed to bounce back to its original shape, even if you're using it all day, every day. That means it's not going to flatten out like a pancake and stop working after a week. So what's the big deal with memory foam? Well, what it does is it actually conforms to the unique shape of your back. And the result of that is a much, much better distribution of your body weight. So instead of all that pressure building up in just one or two spots, the load gets spread out nice and even. And look, none of this matters if it's uncomfortable to use, right? Especially if you're sitting for hours. That's why the design also includes a breathable cover. It seems like a tiny detail, but it's actually super important for letting heat escape, which just makes sitting for those long stretches way more bearable. So let's put all the pieces together and see how this whole system is supposed to work. Step 1, the ergonomic shape supports your spine's natural curve. Step 2, the memory foam molds perfectly to your back. That leads to step 3, your weight gets spread out effectively. And what's the final result? The pressure on your mid and lower back is reduced. Simple as that. Now, one of the coolest ideas behind this kind of support is that it shouldn't just be for one chair. The whole goal is to give you that relief no matter where you're sitting, which really highlights how versatile it can be in just, normal life. And that means it's designed to work in a whole bunch of different chairs. We're talking your everyday office chair for sure, but also gaming chairs where you can easily lose track of time. Wheelchairs where proper support is absolutely critical. And yeah, even those super cramped airplane seats. At the end of the day, it all really boils down to this one central promise. The whole point is to help you sit for long hours and relieve stress from your lower back. This is the direct answer to that problem we kicked this whole thing off with.
So when you strip away all the fancy words and the material science, the main takeaway is super simple and, let's be honest, incredibly relevant. It all comes down to one thing: helping you avoid back pain.
And all this kind of leaves us with a pretty interesting question to chew on. As we spend more and more of our lives sitting down, what's the real path forward for our health? Are we going to have to completely redesign